Hey Enders, Guys here. Welcome back to the channel. If you saw the thumbnail and the title, you already know. But today we're going to be talking about some news, as we do very often on the channel. Not good news. In fact, it's some of the worst possible, type of news. You never really want to hear this. But recently, it's been pretty popular. Another dev has decided to leave the development of EA, and it's not like the janitor working at DICE Sweden left or something. No. This is another lead working on the Battlefield franchise. In fact, the developer that left replaced Lars Gustafsson, who is referred to as Mr. Battlefield. So the replacement has left. So we need to find a replacement for the replacement. Let's get right into the video. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow the Twitch stream. Thank you guys for watching the content. Let's get right into it. In a report from Battlefield Bulletin, Craig Morrison has left EA DICE. Craig Morrison was the replacement of Lars Gustafsson, who was replaced by him in December of 2022, and Craig Morrison was a creative director working on the Battlefield franchise. So essentially, this is top-level DICE leadership. He has left EA DICE and is working at Blue Scarab Entertainment. I googled Blue Scarab Entertainment, and maybe you guys can inform me what they made. Maybe they make a couple games that I know, but I tried looking for information on this studio. I can't find a single thing. And of course, this news is after the bombshell news that Marcus Leto, who was the creator of Halo and he was working on the Battlefield single player, Marcus Leto left EA, and then after Marcus Leto left EA freaked out, shut down the studio Marcus Leto was leading, and then just a few days later, you have another piece of DICE's leadership leave. And in my video where I covered Marcus Leto's departure from EA DICE and the shutdown of Ridgeline Games, I mentioned that I was worried that more people would follow Marcus Leto and leave EA DICE. And it looks like I'm unfortunately correct. The community reaction to this is somewhat a sense of dread, doom, despair. Multiple people replied to my tweet saying that Battlefield is over, we're totally screwed. I'm actually reading replies right now. GG, Battlefield is done, Battlefield is over, RIP Battlefield. One guy replied, it's over if Vince Zampella leaves, with a gif of Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings in Mordor. One guy typed, confirmed, chalked, the franchise is done, and who let them cook? So I think it is safe to say people are in panic mode. I was already in panic mode. Hell, I made an entire video claiming that it is actually time to panic. Now it's like really super time to panic. If you weren't panicking before, I don't know what kind of iron fucking veins you have in you to not be shaken like this. Because let's just say that a smooth game development doesn't involve a studio getting shut down and leadership leaving. Okay? This is not good. This absolutely will have an effect on the quality and perhaps even the release time of the next Battlefield game. And in general, you just don't want to see this. This does not bode well, and I'd be willing to bet the internal environment inside of DICE and all these other studios is in shambles right now. You have a bunch of people being moved everywhere. They're going to have to find a replacement for the replacement for the now vacant creative director position within EA DICE, and I'd be willing to bet a lot of the developers working on the next Battlefield game are sitting there during their workday, and it'll cross their mind. I bet they think, well, is the person in charge of what's going on with my work going to leave? Are they going to have to replace him? Is there going to be a bunch of big shuffling going on inside of the studio? Am I going to be working on one thing today and another thing tomorrow entirely? And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of developers are also considering leaving, or they're worried about the things that I just mentioned. Now, there's one thing that I do want to mention here. I do think it is extremely worrying to see this happen even this early, quote-unquote, into the next Battlefield's development cycle. You don't want to see people get moved around or leave the game. This is Battlefield's essentially last chance. A lot of people have already written off Battlefield because of Battlefield 2042. Seeing this sort of thing does not bode well for the release of the title. It's one thing to have, let's say, a lower-level developer leave, but when your leadership starts leaving and studios start getting shut down, you really do have to wonder how they are going to manage to create a successful Battlefield game. And part of me really wants to know how involved EA is in all of this. Are they leaving because EA is incredibly difficult to work with? What sort of dynamics are going on inside of these studios? Because are they leaving because the project is terrible and they don't believe in it? Are they leaving because EA won't let them do what they want to do, or they won't give them enough time? Or I just want to know the specific reasoning for all of this, and that's really what eats at me, because I don't think we will ever know what actually went on. And the other thing is, we have to wait such a substantial amount of time before the next Battlefield game releases, and the only things we really have to go off of in terms of how well the development is going is a bunch of terrible news regarding studios being shut down and developers leaving. And hey, this might change in due time. Maybe there is some sort of leak that happens that restores a bit of confidence, but as far as the leaks we have heard so far for the next Battlefield game, I would say the reception is mostly negative. The Battle Royale leak was definitely mostly negatively received. The return to roots is kind of a worthless leak. That doesn't mean anything to anyone, because they've said they're returning to Battlefield's roots multiple times. Then they released 2042. Then they released BF5, right? So whatever they say doesn't really matter. And then, of course, this news comes around, and we just hear about a bunch of studios being shut down and a bunch of developers leaving. And keep in mind that this next Battlefield game needs to be successful from the jump, ladies and gentlemen. And EA DICE is notorious for being a slow starter and releasing really games that aren't ready to be released. And in today's day and age, for any game, that is unacceptable, and it really drastically hurts your game's ability to be successful. And that is doubly so for Battlefield, because Battlefield is notorious for it, and this is a period for Battlefield where they cannot afford a bad first impression. I will tell you from a first-hand experience. As a Battlefield live streamer, and one of the only Battlefield live streamers left on the entire internet at this point, when I was streaming the beta of Battlefield 2042, I had over 1,300 viewers. So I get to see the reactions of thousands and thousands of different unique people that come in the stream and leave the stream, right? And at almost every single time, if it was a first-time chat, I would be able to see it, and that person's reaction was like, wow, this is like, what is this? Or this game's terrible, or this is garbage, this and that and the other. And I'd be willing to bet that a lot of those people that came in, watched my stream, and watched the gameplay, and said it was bad, never even bothered to try to play the game in the first place. And that is why news like this is so concerning. This is essentially Battlefield's last chance, and this is not the type of news that bodes well for a good first impression when your franchise is essentially up on the ropes. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Of course, the Season 7 gameplay trailer is coming out, well, as of today, actually. So leave your comments down below what you think about that Season 7 reveal trailer, and of course, I'll be making a video on that, so hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to not miss out on a bunch of Season 7 news, as well as updated tips and tricks videos, weapon guides, and a whole bunch of other content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.